Do you know those console launch games that come out and their main purpose is to just look pretty? Well, Ryse Son of Rome was one of those games. It was one of the launch titles for the Xbox One back in 2013. Ryse Son of Rome is an action-adventure game in which you follow Marius Titus on his quest to avenge the death of his family and preserve the honor of Rome. It was developed by Crytek, the people that made Crysis and the CryEngine. So with that background, you should expect this game to be absolutely beautiful, and I can safely say it delivered back in 2013. Even today on the PC, it holds up extremely well. From the beautiful Roman cities to the lush forests of Britannia, the visuals of Ryse Son of Rome never failed to deliver. Even John Hopkins' performance as the lead character Marius is outstanding. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about the gameplay. The combat here is your standard Batman Arkham-like affair. You have a light and heavy attacks, a dodge, and a parry. When the enemy comes to attack, you can perform a parry to be able to get a couple of hits in. If it's one of the heavier enemies, you may have to use your dodge due to the parry not working on their heavy attacks. When that occurs, the enemy will flash red to indicate that you will need to dodge instead of parry. When you get a few good hits in, you may see a little skull icon appear above the enemies, and that indicates you can perform an execution on them. This is most likely the coolest thing that Ryse Son of Rome does. The executions can be extremely cinematic and brutal and really add to the flow of the combat. During each encounter, I tried to chain all of the executions as close to each other as I could so I would get that feeling of being a super powerful Roman general. A neat feature of the executions is that you can choose between 4 different modifiers. Your options are health, focus, damage, and experience. Whenever you perform an execution, it will give you whatever modifier you had chosen, and the different modifiers even have different animations that you can unlock through the upgrade system. The upgrade system itself is fairly basic in the sense that you can only really unlock passive buffs or different animations for the various executions. You don't gain any special abilities or anything of the sort to aid you during combat. This leads to the time during the 7-hour-long campaign to end up feeling repetitive and boring. There are moments where the gameplay is broken up by crossbow turret sections or the times where you order your soldiers to form a phalanx to march toward the barbarian enemies while blocking the arrows that rain down on you. Those sections really help, but they're still so basic and done only as action set pieces. The combat here feels like it was meant to go much deeper, but it ended up just being a shell. There is enemy variety, even if it's not visual, and there are a few interestingly designed boss battles. The boss battles are quite rare, so when you encounter one, it leads to a nice change in the pace of combat. Where it gets annoying is the way the bosses are handled. They have multiple stages like many other games, but they don't actually change. You use the same tactics and the same attacks. The boss just regenerates its health and gets angrier. It would have been nice if the boss would change up its tactics and made you change how you played instead of just doing everything over again. There are multiplayer modes, but I didn't bother going over them. This is such an old game that I wouldn't expect to find a match. Overall, I enjoyed my time with Ryse Son of Rome. I'm a big fan of the ancient Roman era, so it was interesting to be put in the place of a Roman general. The story even had some interesting plot twists that kept me involved throughout my playtime. The visuals are stunning even 7 years later, but it is sad to see the combat not get the development time it deserves. I have to give Ryse Son of Rome a 6 out of 10. It doesn't do anything special at all, yet it is still a somewhat enjoyable experience. You can even find it for like $3 during Steam sales, so I would definitely recommend you pick it up. Thank you for watching InputSource. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. We are constantly working on videos just like this one. If you want to keep up with us outside of YouTube, you can follow us over on Twitter. All links will be down in the description below. Once again, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Take out the archers!
to him! If it wasn't for Marius, we'd all be dead!
Retreat! Fall back! Forward, men! We're almost at the tower! Battle formation!